Okay. Okay, so the second requirement is that we want to just figure out how many we're going to produce. And we are told that Katie's Boutique wants 7, but we want to have at least 30 extra and at most 35 extra of them. So we're going to have at least 37 and at most 42. But it has to be a number that is divisible by 4. So that means we are going to make 40 bags here. Okay, so let's go to the bill of materials then and start looking at this next form that needs to be filled out. Okay. So we are going to make 40 units here. And we want to complete the bill of materials including the total quantity needed, right? So each of these bags takes a half a yard of black and white floral fabric, 3/4 of a yard of black and white check fabric, etc. And so all we have to do is figure out, we just got to calculate these, multiply these quantities per unit times the number of units that we're going to need. So let's just quickly do that. So it's going to be this 40 here, and if I make it an absolute cell reference, holding the row number constant, then I can just multiply that times, there we go, before times that number here, right? So that's, I'm going to need 20 yards of the black and white floral, etc. And so I'll just autofill this, and that'll be quick and easy. Except my Excel does not like to operate when this camera is running, so there we go. Okay, so those are the numbers right there. So we're going to need 20 yards of the black and white floral, 30 yards of the black and white check, etc. All this trim and strapping and all that stuff. Okay, so that's requirement 3. Okay, so the next requirement is that our engineers have told us that if we are making one bag, it takes 30 minutes to cut, 70 minutes to sew, and 8 minutes to iron. Or in my case, it takes a month to iron because you stick all your clothes that needs to be ironed in the back of the bag and don't ever iron them until you don't have anything to wear. But that's irrelevant, isn't it? So this is how long it takes per bag, right? But you can cut 4 bags at a time, right? So it takes 30 minutes per bag, 30 minutes for 2 bags, 30 minutes for 3 bags, and 30 minutes for 4 bags, right? Because you lay down the fabric and cut 4 at a time. Okay, so we need to figure out our labor time requirements to make 40 bags. So we go to the production schedule and start figuring that out. Okay, so what we need to do in order to figure out how many days it's going to take to do this job is we got to start with these times that it takes. Why is that not showing up? There we go. All right, so this is our labor requirements. Let's make this a little bit bigger. There we go. All right, so we have cutting and sewing and ironing and minutes per bag and minutes required for the job. Right, so you just need to calculate this out yourself. We have 30 minutes per bag for the cutting time, 70 minutes for sewing, and 8 minutes for ironing. Here, I'll give these guys a border so you can see it a little bit more easily. There we go. Okay, and so then, right, for the sewing and the ironing, all we need to do is just multiply it by 40, right? Times, let's grab that number from the other page. So we need 2,800 minutes of sewing time and $320, or I'm sorry about that, I forgot to multiply it, times 8, 320 minutes for ironing time. And then to figure out how much time we need for cutting, right, we're going to multiply that 30 minutes times the 40 bags again. But then we're going to divide it by 4 because 4 bags can be cut at the same time. So that means we're going to require 300 minutes total for the job, for the 40 bags. And then we got to figure out our total hours. So we're going to divide up the sum of all of those by 60. Okay, so that's 57 hours. Okay, so it's going to take 57 person hours to complete this job. Okay, so that's the next thing that we need to do over here. So this is going to be 57, right? And then here comes requirement 5. Okay, we want to use the estimated labor hours to schedule production. Now, we have 4 direct laborers, each working a maximum of 8 hours per day to do this, right? So we have 4 hours that are working 8 hours per day. That means that we have 32 hours available per day, right? So there's 4 people, they're each working 8 hours. That means that we have 32 hours a day. So therefore, how many days will this take? Right? We got 32 hours a day. We got about 60 hours here that we need, so it'll take a little bit shy of 2 days. Right, so this job will take 2 days to complete. Okay, so then, right, here comes our schedule. This is our production schedule up here. So we're going to try to fill in these last few cells here on the production schedule. Right, so we are going to make 40 of these. Let's get our 40 again. We are going to begin this job the day after this one ends. So look, I'm going to just show you a cool Excel thing because I can't resist. Right? Excel can do math on dates. So if I take and say that day plus 1, right? Excel knows that these numbers are dates and it knows it's just going to add 1 day to it. Now, it gave me this, this long sequence. The way that Excel calculates dates is it used the number 0 or 1 on January 1st, 1900. And everything else is just adds 1 day. So this means that it's been 43,748 days as of 10/9 since January 1st. All you do to change that formatting is you right-click, Format Cells, Date, pick the kind you need. This is just no year here, so we'll pick that one. There it is, 10/10, right? So we started with 10/9. We start the thing on 10/10. It'll take 2 days. That means we will finish it the following day. So again, you just take and add 1 to your last date, And there it is. So we're going to end it on the next day. So that's how you schedule the job.